What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Wrenching Wrecked. We are in the garage, jamming away on all sorts of things. So, Garelli's running, EVO's running fine. Matching grips. Those are temporary on the EVO, they're not going to stay that long. But we finished up this one, and I was gonna try and get the shovelhead up on the lift. That was the goal. And then, per usual, what Daddy got me for the birthday. That and some shirts and stuff. Got a banner for the door. Pretty swell. Anyways, this thing I gotta move. The shovelhead's gonna wait a little bit longer. Hopefully not that long, because we did it again. Had this bike sitting for a while, pretty much ignored and forgotten about. Went through, got it, rebuilt the carb, got that running, but the throttle cable was too short, so it was free revving up way higher than it should, but it was running, and I don't know about riding. I've never even tried. That was about a year and a half ago. So we got a 90-something Softail, 95? What year is this thing? 95. So this is going into the garage. Basically, I got the seat and all the parts. Get the rear fender mounted, hook up some cables, switch out these bars because these are tweaked. Other than that, charge the battery, and hopefully we can get this thing to fire up, and it's in and out pretty quick. Just get it dialed. So I'm not sure what we're doing with this yet. My buddies at their shop bought it a while back, and it was a good price, really good price. So they picked that up. We went through, I powder coated the tins just to satin black. Nice and simple. It's not going to be anything fancy. And now we're kind of on the fence, just getting the thing running, riding, and have a loaner bike at their shop or whatever. It's kind of what my EVO is going to be when I get the Superglide dialed up again, because I like riding the old ones significantly more than the new ones. It's nice jumping on these, and don't get me wrong, they run great. It's a great running bike. That one should be about the same, but if Daddy got excited about the EVO Sporty, how's she going to feel about a Softail EVO Big Twin? Time will tell. So let me get this off the trailer, we'll load it into the garage, get it up on the lift, and then start making a parts list. Well, the hard work's done. Bike is off the trailer, trailer's unloaded, back on the lift, just like that. Really fun doing that by yourself. Good thing Daddy came out to help me get this centered up on the jack, but got it up in the air. So where we left off with this, and it's been a long time, when they got this bike, it had a plate on it. It was last tagged in 19. So they got it back home. The battery still has power, but not enough to crank or do anything. So I'm gonna throw that on a charger right now, let this charge up as long as possible. I know we pulled off the tins and the fender, coated these black because it was, I don't even remember, some weird scratched, hideous color of something. It's not the best, just a denim black, I guess, if you will. But it is powder, so it's gonna be a little more durable. It's not the nicest, cleanest finish, but that's not what this bike is meant to be. We got the Carb S&S Super E hooked up, went through that. That fired right up when we went to go fire this for the first time. It started right away. I have the cover and all the parts, but I don't know if I brought that back with me. That might be in the car. I gotta look. But it's covered in Jack Daniel's old number 7 badges everywhere. Let's see, what else? It's got Vance & Hines pipes. It's a cool guy side mount plate. And number 7. So all of that will probably be going away. Somebody at some point siliconed the crap out of the bottom of this, so I'm guessing the base gaskets need some work. There's some oil seepage down here. But I don't even care about the oil leaks yet. I'm not trying to do a major overhaul, rebuild the entire motor unless it's absolutely necessary, but as of right now, cable's on it. It needs, I think, we stole the clutch cable for something else, but I got the cable here, but I need the lever and the perch, so I kind of raided some of the stash of stuff. Found a box of different miscellaneous cables, the throttle, fancy chrome lever. It will not match anything, but it will work, which is really what we're going for. Does that have a pin? I might need a clutch cable pin as well. All right, so I'll have to scrounge one of those up. Throttle for it should go right on. So really, I'm gonna just throw the battery on and then the fender. This never got final mounted, so everything's just loose back here. Laid it all out and then tried firing it up. One of the tank mount bolts, I'm not super familiar with EVOs, but I don't know if this is a stud that goes through the frame. I gotta look closer at that, but this one's broken off, which is why this mount's not on. So we'll have to address that for sure. And then go through pretty much all the tank stuff. We slapped it together, but I don't think it was done really well because we never actually tried doing a full final on here. So looks like it's got a single fire ignition, maybe? Yeah, it should be, I think, with all that. We'll pop that coat and nose cone off and see what that is. So basically, freshen it up. It's got a stainless front brake line already. I don't know what's on the rear. It will need tires because these are ancient and pretty worn out and dry rotted. So I'll find us some tires. I might actually have some stainless line in the rear too. Yeah, this one's just dead. So I need a 21 front, I believe. Yeah, it's 21 up front, 16 rear. I think, yeah. 21, 16. It's just got the perfect little stance, you know, traditional Softail. Nothing too crazy. Don't know if I'm gonna be keeping this one or if we're just gonna get it going. I don't really want to buy another bike right now, but if Daddy's so jazzed up on the EVO, I think a big twin would be kind of nice too. So, you can't keep them all though. You can't keep them all. I'm running out of room in here, and that's after cleaning everything. We got the FLH, the chopper, 79 Superglide, EVO. Frankenstein chopper is still up at the shop, listed for sale. Then we got the Garelli. This one's little, it doesn't matter, but I don't know. I just don't know what to do. But this shouldn't be too bad to get going. So we'll be messing with this the next day or two. Hopefully I have all the parts. I gotta dig through lots of bins of stuff and try and get this back together. Strosic motor is rechecked and verified. I'm fairly certain, if you haven't seen the video on this or were curious, I just went through and rough measured it with a caliper. I think it's a 4 5/8 stroke with 3.25 pistons. So it's a pretty big motor. If anybody's interested in a hot rod motor, let me know. I have papers for it as well. Non-matching, but I do have a 69 title. May consider letting go. I don't know yet. Anyways, quick little update on the EVO. We'll be jamming away, but for right now, I just gotta throw a battery on and see if this thing will charge. And then we might actually just be able to fire it up without a throttle cable. we'll see. Get it on a charger. Well, it's a couple days later. I got this up on the lift. I have not really had a chance to get out here and mess with it. So here's kind of where we are at. The only thing that I have done is hook this up to a battery charger. We're charged. So I think this might actually fire. This is the original battery that came in the bike. It's been sitting for a long time, but it had enough to maintain power. And now we got the lights kind of hooked up. So if I click this on, we do have lights on the dash. I don't even know if we have a dash for this. Tail light works-ish. This is all loose bolted. I've been messing around with some sissy bar stuff. Odds and ends that I found. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just kind of wanted to go through some odds and end parts out of the bin. And we got some bars that are on here. These are bent, so we're gonna be changing these out. I got those apes off of the xlch from the Sportster chopper when I bought that. Might try throwing those on there and see if they clamp tight enough and these risers and don't shift all over the place. We might run those. And those are pretty wide, so I think on a wide glide, this probably wouldn't look too bad. Something kind of like that. They're not that tall, but do that. And possibly, I know I have some 6-inch risers laying around somewhere too that might make their way onto this. Instead of doing a stock style square bar stock sissy bar for this, I just ordered a regular tube style, a taller one, because it's a Softail and it's kind of got that low back stance. So my thought is, you know, taller sissy bar, about yay high or so, backrest for Dottie. And tires, I didn't have a chance to look. I got to figure out what we're going to run for those, because these are completely shot. Anyways, what I wanted to do was try and see if we can start this thing. I did dig out a throttle cable that works. It's not the best. It's way out of adjustment. That needed to back this out. So on SNS's, it's been a long time since I worked on one of these. I've rebuilt them, but actually installing them. I think they have 2 different type mounting plates for the cables. So I got this to work on the far side over there. So we are getting full throttle there. So closed, open, returns all the way. But we are maxed out on the adjuster. So this is the only cable I had that remotely worked out of all of these that I left on the ground. So let me clean these up, and then I just dropped it down on the lift a little bit so we can actually get to some stuff. It looks like these bars are kind of, the wires have already been stretched a bit, hence the electrical tape, and the clutch cable. That's really going to be the limiting factor. I might have to yank this out of here and reroute it differently if we do want to try putting taller bars on. Brake line will have plenty of room. It's really going to be the clutch. I think we're going to have plenty of room on the wires. We should have plenty of room on the throttle cable here. I just got this loose routed, so I don't want to talk too much about what else needs to happen yet, but I think what I'm going to do is, before we get onto the fender, try and see if this thing still runs. So let me grab some gas and get this hooked up. I don't know if that fuel line's still hooked up. We don't have a choke. We don't have an air cleaner, but let's see what happens. I have no idea if there's any gas in this. I doubt it. Hopefully the petcock still works. So we'll fill up this tank. I'm not going to go crazy filling this. Stupid safety gas cap leaking all over the place. How is that any safer than a regular one? Spilling gas everywhere. This is entertaining, huh? Let's spill gas all over the bike we're trying to start. Whatever. It's powder coat. All right, petcock is on reserve. come up with this just a hair. Brakes are rubbing a little bit. Probably don't need this anymore. Oh. And since the air cleaner's off, let's give this a couple pumps and see if we can get that accelerator pump working. Got nothing. I wonder if that dried out. Well, let me break that nut. No point in starting it if I'm not getting gas into the motor. What size is that? Should pour out just like that. So we got fuel in there. Maybe the accelerator pump's just dried out from sitting. It's old gas, that's for sure. Did not look good. Plunger hooked up? Yeah. All right, let's pull the accelerator pump apart. So we do have fuel in the float bolt. I made sure of that. That's okay. Let's see what's going on with this. I could just pull the carb off too. It'd probably be a lot easier than working on these upside down. I hate doing this when they're on the bike, but I don't want to pull it off either. Not yet, at least. Turn the gas off so we're not going to constantly be filling this thing up. Only got one more. Please be enough around the lifter block. Otherwise it's gonna ruin my day, which it is. Now what do I do? I don't want to have to pull the carb. Huh. Just doing that, it's squirting out the bottom of here. Let me throw this back in. There's one. Let's get this last one in. If I need to pull the carb off, we can. But I just want to see if it starts. Let's see what happens. What's the worst that happens? Doesn't start? All right, run, start. Oh. So the battery said it's charged, but I don't think we got enough cranking volts. Bummer. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Probably should have started there. Anyways, this carb feels pretty loose on here, so we're gonna have to address that. Unless that's normal for an EVO. I know on shovels they're fixed mounted because they're clamped, but... So we have a dead battery that holds the charge, but does not have enough to crank. That's unfortunate. usually like using jump packs on bikes, but impatient. And this battery's probably already shot, so it shouldn't really make a difference. Engine start. On, running. Is it just voltage or is it a ground issue? She's pulling fuel. Let me tweak these grounds real quick. No good. Well, we need a battery, and it's Easter Sunday, so that's not going to happen. That's really unfortunate. I was hoping that would go. Where's the kickstart option? Sounded almost like a relay at first, but it's trying to crank once I let it charge for a sec. Where's that go? Well, we tried. I wonder if any of the stores are open today. Maybe I can run somewhere. I gotta move some cars around later. If I can find a battery, we'll hunt one down. If not, we'll be on pause till tomorrow, and then we'll just start on the fender, and then maybe pull this carb off and re-go through it, because that accelerator pump is definitely not working. Womp, womp. I think we're just gonna pull the carb on this. It's been sitting long enough. The gas in there looked terrible, which means that the inside of the bike, or the inside of the carb, probably also looks terrible. So what we're gonna do is find my drill first of all. Pop the horn off. Like so. Get that out of the way. And take a look down here. What do we got? I don't know what that is. Some sort of sensor? EVOs are not my area of expertise. That is for sure. Come on. Okay, she wants to fight. This isn't at all what I wanted to do today. All I wanted to do was get the thing fired up and running. Even put a throttle cable on. It's not fun. Thought we were going to do a quick little rip around the block on this, but not the game plan. What is that sensor for? What's the wire for? Lots of unknowns on this bike. Pop this bolt out so we don't lose it, and then we'll do the top one. or do that. Drop it anyway. Hopefully that landed over here somewhere. All right, can I get to this top one? Oh, come on. Really? I can't get to this from here? Okay. I don't want to have to take all of these brackets off. Is that how this works on EVOs? That whole upper tank motor mount bracket thing? Looks like there's a vacuum. If you guys know, this looks like a little vacuum port coming out of the back of this little sensor. Does that get hooked up to the vacuum port on the carb? I don't really know if that's necessary or not. Let me know if you guys are better versed in these than I am, which is probably all of you. So, how do I get this carb off now? Do I have to pull a motor mount to get to that? Let's see if I can get an Allen key in on the other side, I guess. Or 5/16, I think. Definitely don't want to have to pull the tanks off yet, even though they're coming off anyway. Okay, well, that's great. It would have been really nice not to pull that off. I'm gonna pull these tanks off anyway. It'll just give me a ton more room to work on this, and I want to kind of look at a couple things underneath here. And this front mount's broken anyway, so that way we can get jump started on addressing that, which means we won't be riding this around anytime soon while we're waiting on parts. So if we wanted to pull the gas tank, make sure our fuel is off. We got the front bolt and the upper bolt and the middles. And now it's filled with fuel, which is great. Let's start on the fuel line, I guess. Drain this back into something. Luckily I didn't put that much in. It's pretty stuck on here. We'll probably be swapping this fuel line out too. Okay, fuel line's free. Now I'll pull this back over to the other side, turn the petcock on and let this drain back into something, because it is old and dirty. Do I have a drain of some sort? Crappy old gas can will work. You can stay there, right? All right. Get this drain in. Let that drain for a little bit. We'll be back when it's all done, and then we'll pop the tanks off. We're gonna start on this tank. So I got this mount on the bottom is broken, so that doesn't even have to come off. Take the rear out. Pile here, and then we got this front one, and I don't think this is a through bolt. If I remember, yeah, 2 shorties. I wonder if those blue tanks will fit on here. I don't remember what the mount on those looks like. And before I do anything more, because it's just kind of resting here, hopefully that doesn't fall off, I'm gonna pop this lower line, which is gonna make a big old mess, so maybe I can clamp that. Maybe that'll work. Pull the hose. How important is this vacuum line? Because that's not intact anymore. Or is that just the vent? That's just a vent? Maybe? Whatever. All right, that gives us a lot more room. On this side, let's check over here. Are we still draining? No. All right, perfect timing. So I already took the lower front bolt off down here. So we got the top one and the back left. And all the fuel lines and stuff should come off together. Of course, they're going to be a different size. Looks like a stack of washers in there too, so we might have to tweak that when we get around to putting this back together. Oh, you know what? Clamps are going to get in the way. I didn't even think about that. Whatever. It's just gas. We can let it drain. Okay. Tins are off. A nice safe place where they won't get kicked around or anything on the floor on the other side. All right. Now we should be able to get this carb off. Way more room to work. Man, I still can't believe that's in the way. Okay. Just kidding. Back to the other side. Let's pull the motor out. Why not? Make it easier. What is this thing? Somebody let me know if you know. And then we'll get to the carb. All that extra work. Let me pull the cable off on the other side. And I think we're just going to swap the bars at the same time. That way I can run all the cables the way they need to be instead of having to do this over and over again. Carb is free. Set this on the bench upside down here, leak all the gas out. Then we're gonna open the garage door because it is getting stinky in here. And it's actually a pretty nice day. So, there we have it. Tanks are off, carb is off. So on the list, we gotta go through that and figure out why the accelerator pump's not working. Make sure all the jets are cleaned. I'm gonna throw these right back into the intake. S&S intake on here as well. And I just remembered looking at this. On the EVOs, it's like the 2-bolt flange for the intake setup. So I think that little bit of wiggle is pretty normal when you don't have the air cleaner on and assembled, because the air cleaner mounts to those upper breathers on the head. So without the air cleaner set up, it doesn't mount to these, and this is what retains the carb in place, because the intake's, it's got a little bit of play in there, but pretty sure that's kind of normal on these because they got the rubber tapered O-ring type thing. So there's that. Then I'll yank the battery out, figure out exactly what kind we need. It's Easter, so I really have no idea what stores are even open, if this is a lost cause. But if we're running errands and the store's open, we'll stop by there, even if we get a cheapo, crappy battery. Really want to know what this is. And well, mainly I really want to know if we need it. I'm guessing no. But does everything else work on this? Horn's trying. Don't have any signals. That lights up. That one lights up, so the indicators are still working. High-low works. No tail light. This looks safe. What is that? License plate light. Looks like they cut the turn signal leads off from the harness to the back, which, whatever. And this is literally just jumped to the battery? Is that how they have this set up? Oh my goodness. All right, we'll take a look at that. I don't know. Oh, license plate light. You guys can't really see it. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly they did here. Looks like this splices into black. Is black the ground? And red to the battery? What did they do here? Ugh. Not sure what happened. Or why we lost our taillight, too. Huh, it's a ground. Okay, so this and this need to go to a ground of some sort. Let's see what I can do here just to diagnose what's happening. So here's my grounds. Is there enough to reach anything? Oh God. This is not the best. Not really what I wanted to see. There's a little jumper wire here that's mounted into the frame, so that would be a ground. I don't know how they went about doing this, but if I jump these together, taillight's back on, and if I tap this to the hot side of the battery, I should have a license plate light. Which I do. All right, well, that's sketchy. But it's okay. We're not going to worry about that. What are all these? There's just... Sometimes it's better not looking into bikes. Just get it running and send it. But lots of things to fix on here, so we'll be kind of addressing those. Carburetor's got to get rebuilt. Battery's got to come out, so I will pull those off now. I'm not going to film that. I'm not going to film the carb rebuild. I'm there's a million videos on SNSs already out there, and we're not really doing a full rebuild or anything. I'm literally just gonna drop the bowl, try not to lose all the tiny check balls that I always drop at some point, and go from there. So I think that's gonna be the end of this video for now, because it is Easter Sunday, and there's probably not much more I can do today. So, thanks for watching. More on this coming. Thanks for putting up with the Gorelli videos. I know it's kind of off kilter for most of the people that subscribe to the channel, but I know there's a handful of people that kind of have been following that one and enjoying it. So we're done with work on that one. Now focus is going to be on this. And then quick little rundown. We'll do that in the next video. But got to get this running, riding, going down the road. Might not put the tires on before I give it back or bring it back over there, because we got to figure out what we want. I started looking at tires today. I kind of want to set this up like a EVO older school chopper, if you will. So we're going to do a tall sissy bar, round tube with a backrest. I'm still going to keep the stock seat, which is massive and ugly, but it's going to be comfortable and good for putting miles on. And other than that, we'll do apes up front for now, and then I'm looking at either a 4 or 6 over front end. Here's the problem. I'm trying to build this the way I would want to keep it, and I don't know if I am doing that yet. So if that is the case, my goal is run probably those apes, a 6 over front end, maybe a 4 over, just keep it a little bit more, a little less heavy on the front. And then we'll go with the old school traditional Avon Roadmaster style front tire, and then a high sidewall rear. But I gotta look at prices on those and figure out exactly what we're gonna do. So a little bit more research. Once the sissy bar gets here, that should drastically make it a little bit more traditional chopper-ish looking. But I also want to keep the bag mounts and keep the bags. It's an EVO after all. I have choppers. I have old crusty choppers and old crusty Harleys. I don't have an EVO. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. We will catch you guys on the next one before I keep on rambling.